Holinayna Shri Caitanya, Jagatguru Gora Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu Shri Caitanya, Lord Krishna Narayana, Rupa Dhari Rakivana, Krishna Dara Priyankara, Shri Sarupa Damodara, Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana, Rupa Priya Mahajana, Jiva Raghunatana, Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa, Krishna Dasa Priya Gara Nara Java Seva Para Java Para Vishwanatha Asa Krishna Nata Bhatta Shata Garadeva Jaganata Java Priya Shivati Vinoda Mahabhata Rasta Para Shri Gora Kishara Vara Hari Bhajana Shri Jara Mora Shiva Shava Nama Para Sara Seva Seva Para Sara Jaita Japa Nama Prabhupada Antaraga Shiva Rupa Shri Keshava Bhakti Vidyana Gaudiya Vedanta Vedana Varattamata Sarvani Pradama Parachari Yuravani Bhakti Vinod Swami Prabhupada Kama Krishna Mahajana Brahma Narayana Bhargavani Tara Prana Jana Kesava Hari Jana Gaurangara Nita Jana Saraya Sita Mora Kama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara Vrindavanavasi. Wait. Vrindavanavasi.
You're not even live, are you?
Dasam Amanda Charita Shakti Dari Jane Jane Devera Purana Guna Kaya Deva Sune Mahaprabhutana Sama Pachita Pavana Nalave Muri Bhakti Saino Sharana Nitoi Kori Ati Dori Tamo Muri Dame Muri Tamo Mata Kori Tata Tibo Kera Vada Mara Urasu Tama Dami Moma Dame Kori Nita Tasa Sava Vancha Siddhi Aya Yama Vande Chute Dame Sita Lava Aye Prema Kana Lute Mane Raga Sara Kuna Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Jiva Jaya Gauri Sapachara Sriya Savachari Ajajara Prema Gauri Bharatara Shikaya Sharanagati Pakatera Prana Dhanatmini Vedana Bhakti Devarana Avyasya Sive Krishna Vishwasavarana Bhakti Anukula Mata Anurasikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Bhajanandikara Taranga Tarana Dati Hari Vejara Tara Pratana Suni Srinanda Kumara Drupasana Tana Bhave Tanda Trina Kori Bhakti Vishnu Tapare Prabhupada Gauri Kanya 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 Amita Dava Shikaya Sarana Bhakti Ayutta Jaya Sapashara Jaya Gauri Sapashara Jaya Gauri Can I do Ganga Bhajan Happy and Hari Hari Govinda Hari Bhavanira Hara Kavinita Jagya Karuna Uire Tatara Vashana Mora Kavijutare Nishaya Shari Hai Kave Jurave Mana Kave Amaravo Devendavana Yutara Gunata Kade Aveya Kuti Kave Amabuja Kose Yugala Bariti Yupara Gunata Pade Raumorata Rakana Kuroye Shoda Tadamadasa Raya Nitai Goranga Jaya Nitai Goranga Nitai Goranga Jaya Nitai Goranga Nitai Gore Nitai Gore Satyara Bhakta Mandala Sukana Ratna Kundala Vijajitam Gachandana Namavi Nandanandana Udekanetta Bhankajam Sikirtikangamodayam Jananda Koti Monam Namavi Nandanandana Nashika Dramatika Vajanvajatapansitam Navabudanga Chekaram Namavi Nandanandana Karena Ranjitam Lakikarinda Banjutam Nukula Saitya Shobhanam Namavi Nandanandana Nibanga Deha Sundaram Nakajuti Sujakaram Amulya Matna Bhushanam Namami Nandanandanam Sugandhuranga Sagamuro Viraji Kostuvam Viraji Vatsalanchalam Namami Nandanandanam Vrindavana Sunagrayam Vivasanubhavasatam Surendra Karma Mochanam Namami Nandanandanam Bhajangana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jagannath Nyandanandanaskam Padetya Shradayamritam Bhavandam Dushkaram Lavetaram Driyukmakam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Murendra Vendavandite Shilokashokarini Prasana Vakya Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasuni Bhajanta Mananantani Bhajanta Sunasangate Sadakarisya Siyama Kripakadakshapadana Ashoka Vrikshavarani Vidanamanda Pasite Pravala Vala 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 Prabhuna Kekomale Ayasura Kare Prabhuta Sampadalaya Sadakarisya Silamam Kripakatakshapajanam Anangaranga Mangale Krishnankalapuram Save Brahmam Sabramam Jagata Bana Trilandram Vashikritapakitinandanandanam Sadakarisya Sriyamam Kripakatakshapajanam Tadesuvana Sampaka Praditya Gora Vigrahe Uga Prabha Parasya Bodhisaram Dandu Mandale Prabhuta Shasta Kumbha Kumbha Kumbhi Kumbha Sustani Ashastamanta Asatuna Purna Saka Sagare Sadakarisya Siyamam Kripakatakshapajanam Pranala Bala Bali Sarangaranga Dorate Rajagrara Shalona Nila Himachucha Puromacha Virincha Jabarapade Avara Siddhi Sapadam Purinake Narakarisha Sriyavam Kripakatakshapajanam Maheshwari Kriyeshwari Sameshwari Sureshwari Triveda Bharadishwari Pramana Shastaneshwari Prameshwari Sameshwari Pramodakaraneshwari Rajeshwari Vrajanite Shiradika Namosite Karotu Santa Sajana Kripakata Shabaranam Paveta Deva Sachita Kirubakaranam Paveta Dava Jenda Shundavanjana Pavestranam Radhakarisha Sriyama Kripakatakshapajanam Sriyama Kripakatakshapajanam Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna. Ask a question. Why is it like the Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, like always after every bhajan? Because it seems like sometimes, like the bhajans are like a very like deep mood, and then when you like switch to the Jaya Radhe, it like I don't know, it feels like it breaks it almost. I mean, even that bhajan that we just sang right now, and or like some other ones that are more. Right, but it's like the tempo is more. Right, yeah. Like even like Garlic to Memori. But like even like Garlic to Memori, it's like very slow, whatever, and then it's like and I'm just like
I think that you can have a happy melody and still have like separation in your heart. So you can have a sad melody and still be elated, like it's like sometimes the Mangala Shri Guru goes into Mangala Shri Guru Gora Mangala Murari Mangala Shri Radha. It has some. It's just so it just depends on what word it's interpreted. I just met pretty good so Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yam Pravajantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvarakayano Viraka Taruva Juhava Putri Tanmayataya Taruvo Vaneros Tam Sarvabhut Hridayam Moni Manatosmi Bhaktyavina Aparada Lakshmi Shaktasya Kamadi Tarangamadi Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapadyam Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavasmi Tavasmi Najivamitam Pina Iti Vigyayarade Tam Dayamam Charanantri. First I offer my unlimited obeisances and the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev. Diksha Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pai. Astotra Sat Shishiman. Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. And the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shikshi Gurudevs. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pai. Astotra Sat Shishiman. Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our Param Gurudevs, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and the assembled devotees, Dikshigarus, who are my Shikshigarus, Shishimai Bhakti Vedanta, Madhav Maharaj, Shishimai Bhakti Vedanta Van Maharaj, and Shishimai Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. So today we're observing the last class of our pilgrimage in Navadvip. And then we're still in India, aren't we? Where are we?
And it's still going for me.
We're in Gorpranim, so where are we? Navadvip, Mayapur, Anjadvip, Keshavji, right? In Navadvip. Because Gorpranim, we usually go to Anjadvip to go to all, visit all the temples, but today we're not going there. What? We don't want to get holy. Right. So we are in Keshavji Gaudiya in Navadvip, and then later this morning we'll go back to Miami. It was like never man, wasn't it? Okay. But it's really always land. Miami's never. Because it's just dust. As stated in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that all these names like bungalows and cities, it's ultimately just atoms, they're not really the thing. But Navadvip is really reality. All right, so we're going to be doing a few things today. We'll be finishing up the Lord Chaitanya's direction to the Sampradaya Acharyas, how to preach their mission. And we'll be hearing a pastime that Vasanti delegated to me, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a young boy sitting on some dirty pots. But first, we're going to ask Radhika to speak about pastime that she had with Gurudev in Navadvip.
I just feel like a minute.
It's for everyone.
So I'm not, it's just a little 2 words because we hear that we have to speak something on these days to get the mercy of the personality. So I was just remembering this year in Navadvip 2005. It's not like a personal pastime, it's just a little description. So in 2005 in Navadvip Dham, they had just bought the land and the mutt wasn't built yet. And so they had these big pandals set up where they were having the whole festival. So everything was under a pandal. And there was a huge, massive storm, like a typhoon, like a really scary one. Several people almost died, and some people actually did die. All the bamboo fell, and people were inside the pandal because the storm was so intense. It was like the closest thing you could imagine to Indra and that situation in our time. And I hadn't been to Navadvip, it was my first time to Navadvip. It was like it was very fresh, and I was still pretty young. And I just remember it was that year was such a powerful year, and I remember that the whole Gaur Purnima festival. So on Gaur Purnima, the moon is a rising moon, so it's extremely large and extremely golden, and it feels like it's really just on the branch. And so the moon was rising, and the whole Gaur Purnima festival was outside under the moon. And even though there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people, it felt so intimate. And I just remember I've never seen Srila Gurudev dance the way he was dancing that night. He was in his elderly age, but his feet were lifting off the ground and he was jumping. And at one point, like the girls weren't jumping as much as the Prabhus, and he walked over to where all the girls were, and he was like this, and he was asking all like everyone. He was going up to people asking them to dance, and it was completely ecstatic, and it felt like Mahaprabhu was there and we were in Mahaprabhu's kirtan. And then after, or around that evening, he gave a class, and he said, he was talking about the storm and everything that had happened, and he said, anyone who has attended or will attend this Navadvip Parikrama, whole life they are Gaur Nityananda Prabhu's responsibility, and they are my responsibility. And I just thought that was really beautiful because we've all been attending Navadvip Parikrama this week, so just to remember that Srila Gurudev is taking responsibility for our lives. We don't have, it's so easy to get caught up in worry and anxiety thinking that we're in the driver's seat and we're driving the car of our lives. But if we give the driver's seat to Gurudev and take the passenger seat and allow his mercy and Mahaprabhu's mercy to flow through the lips of the Vaishnavas, then we have a very blessed life. So that's what I want to say.
That was super inspiring, Radhika. Thank you. As she was speaking, I was remembering Gurudev sitting there in Navadvip, and a couple of things. At the end of the festival also, he said, so chant your Gayatri mantras in the nick of time. Means timely, don't be late with it. But he said it in that interesting way. I came there in the nick of time. And then the other thing he said was, so when you go back to your countries, don't tell anybody that there was any inconvenience. Just say how wonderful it was. And everybody bring more people. And then he said, one of the devotees asked me, so why do I have to go to Navadvip Parikrama again? I already went. So he said, you've already eaten. Do you need to eat again?
And the last thing he said in
Wait.
Govardhan. And then the last thing he publicly said in Govardhan in 2010 was, I'm inviting you all to Navadvip, and I'll see you there.
You know what she means? So before Navadvip, he left the vision of the world, but he said, I'll see you there. Okay. So he did see us there. We just want the eyes to see him everywhere. All right, so now, on the request of Vasanti, we're going to be speaking out about one of Mahaprabhu's ecstatic youth pastimes for youth. Sing the naughty behavior of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was when he was of marriageable age, because he had just met Lakshmi Priya, and they had expressed their love for each other, and then they each went home. And then all of a sudden, we come to sing the naughty behavior of Lord Chaitanya. The neighboring people, out of love for him, lodged complaints with Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra. Just like out of love, the elderly gopis came and complained to Mother Yasoda about Krishna's yogurt and butter stealing pastimes. Srila Gurudev said that their real motive for coming and quote, complaining is that they got to see these pastimes and Mother Yasoda didn't. So really they wanted her to experience what they had. One day, Mother Sachi wanting to rebuke her son, went to catch him, but he fled from the spot, like with Mother Yasoda and Krishna when he stole the yogurt. Although he is the maintainer of the entire universe, once the Lord sat upon some rejected pots, not metal pots like we have, but clay pots, in a pit where the remnants of foodstuffs were thrown after they had been used for cooking. In Prabhupada's purport, formerly it was the custom of Brahmanas to worship Lord Vishnu daily at home and cook food in new pots. This system is still going on in Jagannath Puri. The foodstuffs would be cooked in earthen pots, all fresh and new, and after cooking, the pots would be thrown away. By the side of the house, there was generally a big pit where such pots were thrown. Can you picture that? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down on the pots, very pleasingly, just to give his mother a lesson. When Mother Sachi saw her boy sitting on the rejected pots, she protested. Why have you touched these untouchable pots? You have now become impure. Go and take baths in the Ganges. They were strict Brahmanas. And of course, Prabhupada wanted us to be too. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his mother about absolute knowledge. Although amazed by this, his mother forced him to take a bath. Prabhupada's purport. The absolute knowledge explained by the Lord to his mother is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Pasya. This is the name of the commentary or pasya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, on each verse. And then after him, Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did his Anupasya in pursuance of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary. So, the absolute knowledge explained by the Lord to his mother is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Pasya as follows, quote, the Lord said, Mother, this is pure and that is impure is surely a worldly sentiment with no basis in fact. You have cooked foodstuffs for Lord Vishnu within these pots and offer the foodstuffs to him. How then can these pots be untouchable? You didn't eat from it, you just offered it to Krishna. Everything in relation to Vishnu is to be considered an expansion of Vishnu's energy. Vishnu, the super soul, just like we don't bring Krishna's pots out, we transfer the pots into these trays and we may bring them out, but not the pots that were offered to Vishnu. Actually, Srila Prabhupada said, if there's one black spot, even on the outside of the pot, it's not clean. Vishnu, the super soul, is eternal and uncontaminated. How then may these pots be considered pure or impure? Hearing this discourse on absolute knowledge, his mother was very astonished, but still she forced him to take bath. Is that the one Vasaji? I thought it was one with impersonalism.
That one and the other one, the dirt one.
Is the dirt one next? Huh?
That was before.
Before. But before, right before it was him meeting Lakshmi Priya.
Really?
What?
Wasn't it
after Vishwarup took sannyas, and then Jagannath Mishra forbade him from studying. What? There's another
Yes.
podcast.
Can you find out where that is?
I think that's Adi Leela 7. Or Chaitanya Bhagavat Adi 7.
Well, no, it's this one. I was just
It's in the CC.
Also,
didn't explain why she thought it was.
Also, wait, I don't say what you Lakshmi Priya. Did it say Lakshmi Priya is the daughter of Vallabhacharya? I just read that somewhere and I want to confirm. Like, is it the same Vallabhacharya?
If you like, you can read that too. I'm reading Lakshmi Priya. When Mother Sachi saw Lakshmi Priya before Mahaprabhu met her, she was determined she has to be my son's wife. But we can read that.
I thought you were listening.
Why, what? There's nothing about impersonalism there. He wanted me to read the place where he was eating dirt. That's in a different place. You just find it. All right, where? One day, I don't know how I'm gonna do Larry. I'll have it out there. One day, while the Lord was enjoying his playful sports with the other little children, Mother Sachi brought a dish filled with fused rice and sweetmeats. What is fused rice? And sweet, can you ask GPT?
It's probably like, it's probably like rice with like bay leaves or.
We'll find out in a minute what it actually is. And she asked the child to sit down and eat the rice and sweetmeats. But then when she returned to her household duties, the child, hiding from his mother, began to eat dirt, just like Krishna. Seeing this, Mother Sachi hastily returned, exclaiming, "What is this? What is this?" She snatched the dirt from the hands of the Lord and inquired why he was eating it. Of course, we know when Krishna was eating dirt, it wasn't dirt, it was earth. It was because his devotees' feet were mixed with the earth. So he was honoring his devotees. Crying, the child inquired from his mother, "Why are you angry? You have already given me dirt to eat." Let's see what the word is.
Would you like to hear about fused rice?
Yes, we would love to hear about
In Bengali cuisine, fused rice refers to basanti pulao, also known as mishti pulao, a sweet, ghee-rich rice dish.
It's the sweet rice?
It's a sweet and savory.
Sweet and savory rice all
It
together.
typically features govinda bhog rice, cashew nuts, raisins, Bengali-style ghee, and ginger, turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and
Can we hear that? I mean, the people of the world are not learning words fused rice. Can you come here? Or speak in a mic? It's very interesting. It's both sweet and savory. Very interesting. You gonna make that? Or the brothers?
we gotta change the cameras too.
Well, we don't have Govind Bhog rice here. We need like keep.
So, in Bengali cuisine, fused rice refers to basanti pulao, also known as mishti pulao. Pulao, a sweet, ghee-rich rice dish. It typically features govinda bhog rice, a type of aromatic rice, cashew nuts, raisins, Bengali-style ghee, and spices like ginger, turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and bay leaves. The dish incorporates sugar to achieve its signature sweet flavor, which is a common characteristic of Bengali cuisine. It is often served as a main dish for special occasions or the part of a Bengali meal, typically alongside dishes like kosha mangsho, a spicy curry.
Great, thank you so much. I don't see where it begins, actually. All right, so first we're reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then Sankirtan Prabhu mentioned that there's also a place in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So he started eating earth. Crying, the Lord inquired from his mother, "Why are you angry? You have always given me earth to eat." What is the Bengali of that? Oh, mati. Mati is like mud or earth. Fused rice, sweetmeats, or anything eatable is all but a transformation of earth. Remember Madhvacharya? One Maya is different from another Maya. This is earth, that's earth. Please consider what's the difference between them. This body is a transformation of earth, and the eatables are also a transformation of earth. Please reflect on this, Mother. You are blaming me without consideration. What can I say? So, in Srila Prabhupada's purport, let me know if it covers his Prabhupada's purport, because Chaitanya Bhagavat has the commentaries of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Prabhupada says this is an explanation of Mayavad philosophy, which Madhvacharya staunchly preached against, which takes everything to be one. The necessities of the body, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, are all unnecessary in spiritual life. When one is elevated to the spiritual platform, there are no more bodily necessities. And in activities pertaining to the bodily necessities, there is no spiritual consideration. In other words, the more we eat, sleep, have sex, and try to defend ourselves, the more we engage in material activities. Unfortunately, Mayavad philosophers consider devotional activities to be bodily activities. They cannot understand the simple explanation of Gita. Mam chayo vyavacharena bhakti yogena sevate sadhunam samatityayetam brahmabhuyaya kalpate. Anyone who engages in spiritual devotional service without motivation, rendering such service for the satisfaction of the Lord, is elevated immediately to the spiritual platform, and all his activities are spiritual. Brahmabhuyaya refers to Brahman, spiritual activities, although Mayavadi philosophies are very much eager to merge into the Brahman effulgence. They have no Brahman activities. To a certain extent, they recommend Brahman activities, which would then mean engagement in the study of the Vedanta with the wrong interpretation, which means it's all one, as we discussed the other day. Where do we discuss it? In Vidyanagar. And Sankhya philosophies, but their interpretations are but dry speculation. Lacking the varieties of spiritual activity, they cannot stay for long on that platform of simply studying Vedanta and Sankhya philosophy. Life is meant for variety, so there's no variety there. It's all one. But because the nature of the soul is to live in variety, they just drop down from that and become materialists. Life is meant for varieties of enjoyment. The living entity is by nature full of an enjoying spirit. It's not something that comes with the body, it's just the nature of the soul. Why? Because we're part and parcel of Satchidananda Krishna. As stated in Vedanta Sutra, Anandamayo Vyasat means the absolute truth is made of enjoyment. There's one verse in the CC, Krishna is bliss. He's made of bliss. He tastes bliss and he gives bliss to the living entities, perverted, and real bliss to his devotees. The cause of all these three is Vladini Shakti, his bliss potency. So we can't remain on a platform um, of oneness. Prabhupada gave the analogy that if you're flying in space, unless you reach another planet, you have to come back again to Earth. You can't remain on the platform of oneness or merging. In devotional service, the activities are variegated and full of enjoyment. Srila Prabhupada wrote me that one of the purposes of the paintings is to show that the spiritual world is not void. It's full of form, color, activities, variety. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:2, all devotional activities are easy to perform. They are eternal and spiritual, avyayam. They are never over. Since Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand this, they take it for granted that a devotee's activities of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam are all material and are therefore Maya. When Mahaprabhu went to the assembly of Prakashananda Saraswati Thakur, the Mayavadis asked him, why are you engaged in these sentimental activities of singing and dancing with other sentimentalists? You should study Vedanta. And Mahaprabhu said, what can I do? I went to my spiritual master. He told me to chant, and now I can't control it. The chanting itself drives me on. And then he defeated them in the philosophy. They also considered Krishna's advent in this universe and his activities to be Maya. Therefore, Krishna says in the Gita, anyone who understands the transcendental nature of my birth and activities, he attains me. He never has to take birth again. Therefore, because they consider everything Maya, they are known as Maya Vadis. Vadi means stress. They put stress on everything is Maya. The only thing that's not Maya is undifferentiated oneness, where there's no interaction of loving exchanges.
So
Louder.
there is that also means that they don't differentiate between Mahamaya and Yogamaya, right?
They say it's all Maya. Everything is illusion. Illusion. Actually, any activities performed favorably for the satisfaction of the Lord and the direction of Guru are spiritual. But for a person to disregard the order of the spiritual master and act by concoction, accepting his nonsensical activities to be spiritual, like the other day on Sunday, one of the devotees asked, how do I know if my activities are spiritual or material? If the spiritual master is pleased, then we should understand that the Supreme Lord is also pleased. But if he is displeased by our actions, they are not spiritual. Then he quotes Viswanath Chakravarti Thakur, Yashat Prasada, Pavila Prasad, Saprasada, Nagati Kutopi. You have no place. Your whereabouts are unknown. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme spiritual master, and so he instructed his mother about Mayavad philosophy by saying that the body is dirt, earth, and the eatables are also earth. He implied that everything is Maya. This is the Mayavad philosophy. The philosophy of the Maya bodies is defective because it maintains that everything is Maya, but the nonsense that they speak. When I'm speaking is the truth. While saying that everything is interesting. While saying that everything is Maya, the Mayavad philosophers loses the opportunity of devotional service. Like one of the first things I ever heard from Prabhupada when I first joined in 1966 at 26 Second Avenue, he said the Mayavadis give the analogy of a pot, and the pot is being filled with water. And while it's being filled with water, it's making a sound. And then when it's filled, it doesn't make any more sound. So while you're practicing or inquiring about spiritual life, you may make so much talking. But when you become spiritually realized, there's no more talking. You're silent. So Prabhupada said, if you're going to give an analogy, there has to be many similar points. Can I be compared? Can the living entity be compared with a water pot? Okay. So, and there was another one he said at that time that he said, I am God, but now God is an illusion. But there's only God. So where did illusion come in? Actually, there's a chapter in Jaiva Dharma where the guru is teaching, his disciple is asking, what about this philosophy? What about that philosophy? Like, if you break open a pot, then it becomes non-different. What's in it becomes non-different from the space around it, right? But you put a little bit of that space in a pot, and that is called jiva. But really, when you break the outer covering, I'm just one with God. So many questions like this were asked, and then the guru Babaji Maharaj kept defeating. This is also Mayavad because if anybody would like to find that in Jaiva Dharma, we can do that another day and show how he defeats all the arguments and how our contemporary gurus are just following in the footsteps. Because that is guru who's coming in the same line. What? What?
It just sounds like it's not wrong, it's just incomplete. Like, you know? Like, it just, to me, it just sounds like they're just only talking about Mahamaya, but they're just missing the aspect of like,
You can't compare a jiva with a pot filled with space and say just like that. So the jiva is only the covering. And when he becomes realized, he merges and becomes one with the space. In the Krishna book, there's also this discussion with the, I forget who it's with. It'll hit me at some point. The argument is that we're all one, and then, somebody becomes liberated, right? So Prabhupada said if everyone was one, then when the first person becomes liberated, everyone would be. Yeah.
So I've heard of some bhaktas who practice Kriya Yoga or like things that are often considered Mayavad in order to help their energy and focus, to aid in their devotion. If the intention is there with those practices, can it be helpful to bhakti, or is it always
I don't understand a word you're saying.
Okay.
How can Mayavadi help you become And if thinking that I'm God,
I can explain.
how does that help you become a bhakta?
I can explain it. It's like when you go to yoga classes, for example, you're going for the physical asana or for the pranayam or for the practice, but then the philosophy that they speak is like rooted in Mayavad, but can the practices themselves, if you're doing it to like focus or to, you know,
Makes it better.
yeah, it's like the quantum human people that came. Maybe I shouldn't say this. They had a certain philosophy, but we were, you know, separating the philosophy from the nutrition and good health advice, basically. Is that?
Yes,
Yes.
so the practices, which are physical yoga exercises, it does give you muscles
Kriya yoga. Yeah, but Muhammad.
and it gives you a flow of the body, but it doesn't help you all. It doesn't help you at all in your bhakti. It helps you make your body feel good.
But Muhammad's everything is in Muhammad, all this yoga.
All of that is in the Mahamudra. Still, we need yoga practices for the body. So we have to keep the body fit.
I know it's for another time, but this is the spot where.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
All right, we can do that tomorrow. No, we can do that Monday morning. We have class on Monday. That's very interesting. Nirvashesha Shanyavadi Pashta Chadeshadarne. Srila Prabhupada came to wipe that out.
And Serenity.
Yes. Mike,
The
Mike.
and then the Brahmavadis, because they just seem very similar. The Brahmavadis.
There's a little bit of a difference between Brahmavadi and Mayavadi. The Brahmavadis also accept the form of the Lord. So if they meet devotees, they can change by their association. All right, so just want to close on this purport of Prabhupada. While saying that everything is Maya, the Mayavadi philosophers loses the opportunity of devotional service, and therefore his life is doomed. So as Prabhupada said, therefore I am whipping them. Distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised, Mayavadi pasya suni lehoy sarvanas. If one accepts the Mayavadi philosophy, his advancement is doomed forever. Okay, does that help you, Vasanti?
Yeah.
Is it different?
It's a bit different. It's
It's like a what?
it's like a different story, but a similar pastime. Very fun.
Clay pots?
Yeah. It starts from text 113 onwards.
Clay pots. Shishti Radharaman Bihari Ji Ki Jai. I don't see it here.
Well, it's after he stopped being able to learn because his dad killed him.
Yeah.
And then he sits on it.
It's also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Go ahead. What did he want to teach his mother?
Oh, okay. I can find it more specifically.
Yeah. You see, I'm going to sit on, I'm going to eat earth, right? And I'm going to speak this nonsense philosophy. Why? So that he'll send me to school, so I'll learn something. She didn't want to send him to school because she sent this Farouk to school and he became so aware and so learned that he took sannyas and left home. She didn't want Nimai to leave home.
161.
One day after Jagannath Mishra went for his duties, the Lord became very angry because he was not allowed to study. He then sat down on the old rejected pots that had been used for preparing offerings to Vishnu. This topic is most confidential. Whoever hears it will attain devotional service. Using the rejected pots as a singhasana, the Lord sat there. The black soot from those pots decorated Gaura's limbs, and he appeared like a golden doll smeared with sandalwood pulp mixed with a guru. A guru is a um, blackish,
Resin?
it's, guru is coming from a tree and it's used for, as an unguent.
OUD.
When Mother Sachi went there and saw Nimai in that condition, she lamented and said, "My dear son, it's not a proper place to sit. These are rejected pots, and if one touches them, he must take bath. Haven't you understood this by now?" The Lord replied, "If you don't allow me to study, how will I know the difference between good and bad, or a fool and a Brahman? I'm a fool, and I don't know which place is good and which is bad. Therefore, I consider all places equal." After saying this, the Lord smiled from his seat on the rejected pots and accepted the mode of Dattatreya, the topmost knower of absolute truth. I'm going to skip some verses. Mother Sachi inquired, "You have sat in an impure place, so how will you purify yourself?" The Lord replied, "My dear mother, you are very childish. I'm never in an impure place," which is true. "Wherever I am, that place becomes most sacred. The Ganges and all other tirthas are present in that place, wherever I am. Purity and impurity is only mental creation. Please consider what fault is there in the Creator. Even if something is considered impure by the Vedas and people in general, can it remain impure after I touch it?" Typical kid. But when he's saying it, it's true. In fact, these pots are not at all contaminated because you have used them. Now it's getting into the same thing as the CC, because you have used them to cook for Lord Vishnu. The pots used in cooking for Vishnu are never contaminated. Indeed, simply by the touch of his cooking pots, other places become purified. Therefore, I never reside in an uncontaminated place. Everything, and he's telling her that really I'm Vishnu, everything becomes pure by my touch. The Lord, in the mood of an ordinary child, smiled as he spoke on the absolute truth. Still, no one recognized him due to the influence of the illusory energy, and that energy is yoga mind. Everyone began to laugh after hearing the child speak. Then Mother Sachi said, "Come and take bath." The Lord replied, "I tell you, if you don't allow me to study, then I won't leave this place." It's a threat, another thing a kid does. Everyone present then admonished the Lord's mother, "Why don't you allow him to study?" Some people take great efforts to get their child to study. It's most auspicious if the child wants to study. Which enemy has given you the idea to keep your son at home? This child has no faults at all. Then they said to Nimai, come, Nimai. If you are not allowed to return to your studies from today, then you can continue your destruction. They're playing with Mother Sachi. Still, the Lord did not leave that seat. He continued sitting there, smiling as the pious people there floated in the ocean of bliss. Then Mother Sachi personally pulled him off the seat, and Lord Gaurachandra smiled like a shining blue sapphire. Some most fortunate person had previously given Jagannath Mishra a prediction. This boy is not ordinary. Please carefully keep this child in the core of your heart. Thus, the Lord of Vaikuntha constantly enjoyed his confidential pastimes in the courtyard of his house. By the order of his father, he then joyfully resumed his studies. Gaur Premananda, accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das Thakur, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Okay. So, what time is this class over and now what happens?
Shad.
Oh, Prashad. But one thing is, today's not, everyone's a little tired today. So today is not Harinam. Today is give Shamarani Didi the phone today. It may only take an hour, but I want the phones of the men and women for however long it takes to make the ashram look your respected ashram, men's ashram, women's ashram, look spick and span, and neat and clean. So whoever has phones now, please give them to me. Whoever has the phones in their rooms, please get them for me. And let's all take